St. Mary Hospital, the first hospital in the state, was founded by a Roman Catholic order of nuns to care for the homeless and starving soldiers they found on the streets of Hoboken, a major Civil War port.
I was a patient in St. Francis, and the patient next to me worked on the switchboard, and we became great friends. So this one day I was coming down to visit somebody else, and she seen me in the hallway, and she says, oh, come on, she says, we got a job in the switchboard for you. I says, are you crazy? I said, I've never even seen a switchboard, never mind work one. So she said, no, come on, the boss says, come in. So, so I went in, and I got hired right on the spot. And the first day I worked and I seen that switchboard and all those plugs, I was like, oh my gosh.
I've been working here for 35 years. Then I moved from dietary, I moved to nursing, 6 South. From 6 South, I did like 17 years there, and now I came to physical therapy. There was an opening, I applied for it.
I have worked here 38 years. I had just finished a course at school here in Hoboken, and my supervisor sent me for an interview. And there were about 19 other applicants for the job. We all went through the testing process and the interview, and I got the call.
October of 1972, Sister Grace Francis, again with the input of the medical staff leadership, invited me down to take on medical education and become full-time medical director of the respiratory therapy service.
I remember my first day here. Everyone was so kind and friendly and willing to help out in times of a stressful situation and celebrate the good times with you also. It was a great place to work, and it still is.
I came as a student because I really didn't know what I was doing after high school. And then we applied to St. Mary's Nursing School, and I got accepted. And I came here, I didn't even know what Hoboken was. And I stayed, I graduated, and I stayed, and there was a class of 20. And I think 16 of us stayed, and we got our pick of whatever unit we wanted. And I picked intensive care.
I came to St. Mary's in 1967. It was part of a school program, which was a work-study course. And I went to school in the morning, and I worked here in the afternoons.
I started to work here September 28, 1970. I got this job from working at St. Francis Hospital in Jersey City. I was the department aide there. And at that time of working in the hospital, whatever you had a specific job, but you could pitch in and help do whatever, all right? So being there, I soon started developing film, and then started taking x-rays and this and that. And there was a doctor there at the time, Dr. Harwitz, who asked, why didn't I go and be a nurse instead of just, in other words, being there doing what I was doing, he said. But I thought going to nursing school was a little bit too long. I just got out of school. I didn't want to go back. But anyway, he told me about the Jersey City Medical Center having a school for x-ray technology. He said it would be less time than that, which it turned out to be 2 years as opposed to 3. But anyway, I go to school there, and they tell me when I finish this school, I can come back to work there as an x-ray tech. But what happened when I went back, they had just hired someone, and I don't want to think that way it sounded, but they told me, well, he's a man, and he has experience, and he can help us move patients better. And all that is true, because he was a technician. So I said, okay. But the next day, my girlfriend called and said, Mary, why don't you come down here to Hoboken, a place I had never heard of, and put in for the job here, because they just let a man go from here yesterday. And I came down here the very next day, spoke with a Dr. Gross and a Bob Grave here. They hired me, And come to find out, the man that took my job at St. Francis was the man that left from here. And I have been here ever since.
I started at St. Mary's Hospital in July 20, 1970. The reason when I came, I was working in New York, but I don't have the state license. I was working in Bellevue because in that time my English was very, very bad. And they put me, I started NYU, but they sent me to Bellevue Hospital because it's too many Spanish people over there. I went to the test, but I don't even understand the question. And I put many more, and I was too low qualification that they give me another chance to go in 6 months, but I can work until I had the other test. In that time, I live in Union City, it's about 10 minutes from Hoboken, and I came here and make an application. It's very close to my home, and I'm still here now.
A certain doctor from the medical center told me that they have an opening in St. Mary's Hospital. So he said, if I were you, I'm going to St. Mary's. That brought me in here. That was in October in '69, but it took them more than 2-3 months to say, okay, we're going to accept her. I was asked to open the very first nuclear medicine department. That was in '69. It was just a new department that they were trying to open, and they said they did not have any technician at all, so if I was willing to start it with a Dr. Gross.
I was really working part-time in the laboratory, and after a couple of months, they said they have an opening, which is EKG technician. I don't even know the meaning of EKG, but I like to work in a hospital, and I quit my job in Secaucus. And when I get here, as an EKG technician, Dr. Wallace T. McCaffrey, I guess he fell in love with me, that he said he knows I have a potential. And he trained me by himself.
I was here in 1968 of September. When I got here, I had a 1-year internship from here and took the exam after 1 year and passed it. And right away, Sister Miriam Teresa accepted me as a medical technologist.
I came here July 1966, and there's so many Filipino nurses and doctors, so I don't really feel that homesick, you know, because so many Filipinos.
I came from this town, and I love the people here, the small community hospital, so it felt like family coming home, and this is where I am.
I was a MedTech student, 4-year college degree. In order to graduate as a MedTech with the accredited college degree, we had to do a program, a year's internship. And St. Mary's was one of the hospitals that give that program.
Okay, actually, I do remember my first day at St. Francis. It was quite eventful. Actually, I got stopped by a cop on my way down because I made a left-hand turn that I shouldn't have made, and then went crying hysterically. I was all of 19. And then on my way into St. Francis, the physical building itself, a bird did its number on my head. And at that point, I had hair down to the middle of my back, so I was very upset, obviously. So went in, washed myself off, and so, you know, I mean, that was it. I said, oh boy, this is going to be great. So 37 years later, I'm at St. Mary.
Oh, well, the technology, the switchboard has changed a whole lot. And I guess the different names of the hospitals that we've been through, maybe 5 of them since I started.
It's changed unbelievably so.
When I started here, it was like in '74, and I did like 13 years. It's a big change from an old building. We got a new building.
Well, we have high technology, obviously. That's the most important thing.
The technology has changed, by leaps and bounds so much.
Well, it went from writing, from something that would take you 10 minutes, to 2 minutes now with the computers.
I started working on an electric typewriter with carbon copies. Making changes was difficult, and filing and folders daily. And since the computer has changed that and made my job much different, and it's just my family away from home.
Well, initially we were wearing white, and then we were graduated to that you can wear anything you want, basically wanted, and then they had that the walls, whatever the walls were green, the nurses were green on that department. And in intensive care we could wear white or blue, or then people started wearing flower, whatever. And now we're back to white.
We went from an old mimeograph machine to me trying to convince Steve Ellerman that we need an in-house print shop.
Well, it's a lot of changes, the new technology and everything that we have. In that time, we had to develop the field, and now everything is done by the technology, you know.
Well, I have seen a lot of changes in technology, but basically it is more of this computer thing. At the time, it was the machine and the patient, but now you have to get involved with the computer and how they work.
And changing with the times have been a beautiful experience. I really enjoy working here and changing and serving the people.